Before I begin this vlog, I have an urgent request to anyone in the St. Louis area that has a food truck. Both Club Atletico St. Louis and St. Louis Stars are looking for food trucks to service their games in the Midwest Premier League this season. So if you are a food truck owner that can make it out to the Cottleville area or Creve, Coeur, please email me. My email address is in the description below. And now on to the vlog. Introducing a local club that lost its home due to weather-related damage and is having to improvise. And also introducing a supporters group that lost their club and is also having to improvise. This is non-league soccer in America. This is St. Louis Stars versus Club Atletico St. Louis. What's up? It's your soccer zombie, Tom Franklin here. I'm here at Cottleville City Fields, located in St. Charles County. A long way from home from downtown St. Louis, and a bit of a long way from home from the home team in this matchup, St. Louis Stars. They play at Creve Coeur Soccer Park, which has been damaged from a tornado that passed through earlier this year, and cleanup is expected to take the next few months. So they are playing in Cottleville City Fields, and as you can see, it's a pretty decent field behind me here. They do have lights, and this game is being played at 7:30 at night, so unlike St. Louis Development Academy a couple weeks ago, they can actually play this one when it is actually scheduled here. But as you'll come to see here, this is a typical semi-pro experience where you don't get a whole lot of frills. They have a snow cone stand here, and that's about it. They do have a vending machine with soda, and that's really about it. And besides that, I believe that this is just another one of those stories where this place might be something in a couple of years, and these teams might have that culture in a couple of years. It just might take a little bit of time. And speaking of building culture here, I want to introduce you to the head man at Club Atletico St. Louis, Ricardo Garza. And as you'll learn, even though their team is under 23s, they're not really so much a youth team per se as they are a community team, a community with a heart. All right, I'm with the head coach of Club Atletico St. Louis, also really the man behind the badge, for the past 7 years, Ricardo. So first things first, Ricardo, this is a new season for you here, Midwest Premier League, your third year in the Midwest Prem. How are you feeling about things going into it?
I'm feeling really good. We have a great group. Every year you're just trying to build and build onto it, but it's a platform for kids to kind of come into that wouldn't normally get an opportunity. It's an elite level for the top level players that want to have a good level of training. Mm-hmm. And then you have the third tier of guys that have put the time in and they want to come back, because NPSL guys are now still playing in this now. Mm-hmm. And this year is I love everybody that's been here in the past, but this year we have a really great group of about 28, 30 players. And the training nights have been awesome. The communication has been great. Mm-hmm. And I think this is going to be like one of the most fun years that we've had since Atletico was born.
Well, and one of the things that might lead into that is that now you're focusing on just one league now. You were MPSL up until last year, and last year, a couple years, you split between the two. Yeah. This year, you're making the full jump to Midwest Premier, so what led into that decision?
The Midwest Premier League, from the competitive standpoint, I was like, wow, this is a great league. We had kind of set it up for the youngsters in our club to play, and then our older guys that were going to finish college would play for the NPSL. If you were at the elite level, you played no matter how old you were. We had a 17-year-old playing at the 23s last year. This league, I tell you, the people that are running it, the board members, the owners, I really like them. And not to take anything away from the NPSL owners, but the Midwest people is just the right kind of mix of doing it for the right reasons. Mm-hmm. Is probably the best way to describe an owner in the Midwest Premier League from around the Midwest. We've now added more teams here with STL DA, with STL Stars, new teams that they did it just because the teams in their club now are going to college and they wanted a high level. So we welcome young teams like that because the whole point is to develop, mm-hmm. right? And then you have Boss, a bunch of ex-pro players that is going to be fun to play those guys. I know many of those, a handful of those guys they have worn the Atletico gear over the last several years and played for us. So there's so many people 200-300 people that have played for Atletico, I think, over the last several years.
I think Colombia has a few former Atletico players.
And it's a notch on our belt of respect that, that so many people have kind of came here and then just kind of moved forward and open up the door for the next crew. So, I want people to give the US Premier League a shot and come watch games. Don't just watch one. Go to 2 to 3 different teams. Support us all. And that'll be really great.
And you'll find something, depending on what you're looking for, play style. If you want the old pros, go see Boffs. ATAR's got a couple of them as well. AFC Columbia, they're of course, if you're in Central Missouri, that's the club for you.
Yeah.
Now your club here, it's still considered under 23s, correct?
Yeah.
But you mentioned, we were talking beforehand, you don't consider yourself a youth club per se, so you're still kind of in a growing phase, is that correct?
We're just a place where right after college you have a place to go. While you're still in college, you have a place to go. The diversity of divisions is important. Mm-hmm. We're not out here just trying to make cool Instagrams and just get a bunch of D1 players and put them out there. Oh, we're going to be so good because of that. We have that, but we also got D2, we have D3 players, we have NAI players, we have JUCO players. So it's a place that every level of soccer in St. Louis can be represented. Not only that, kids grew up in St. Charles, they grew up in the city, they grew up on the east side, they grew up all over different parts of St. Louis to represent this team. It's all about uniting cultures through sport with us. I am not out here to just try to beat up on teams and do that. I'm here to serve the players that play for me. That is the way I do my college, the way I do my youth club team, and the way I do Atletico is just here to serve. Not a coach out here just trying to get results and that stuff. There's other coaches in our league that do that, but here it's all about these guys, and that helps them play harder. And I think that's why we're one of the best teams around, because we're always competitive, because they know the coach cares for them, and they know we're a family, and they want to play harder, and they play for each other.
And you were very competitive last year. You were right there with the Stars, in the division. But, one thing you also talked about as well is that you're a community club as well, and you try to, give back to the community as well. I see your Stop Human Trafficking badge on the polo there. So tell me about how you try to give back to the community.
Anything that's connected to serving our youth in the community at any capacity. It doesn't matter if it's just a youth festival. It doesn't matter if it's, a cultural festival and they want us to have the kids zone. Whatever we can do to serve the youth in the community is what we want to be able to do. If there's nonprofits that are bettering the good of St. Louis culture, we're all about partnering and collaborating. That's what we wanted this. We are a nonprofit, right?
Yeah.
That happens to be a soccer team. The soccer team is the platform for the kids, but the other part is the platform for the city. And nonprofits who don't have a soccer ball, how do they have a venue? How can they create an event? Well, let's create a soccer event for you. And now you have people coming because of that, and that's how we want to collaborate. Use our platform for that. That's how the Stop Trafficking had happened, is partnered up with WashU. How do they get that information out about helping save children's lives and things like that.
All righty, well, Club with a Heart, Club Atletico. We'll appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you for coming out.
Best of luck. It's very cool to see a club like Club Atletico. They are a non-profit trying to give back to the community one by one, step by step. And one thing that Ricardo did ask me about is if I knew any food truck owners, because they're trying to build a game experience for fans right now. And it's just one of those things that's just going to take a little bit of time. But what's interesting about Club Atletico is sometimes where these players come from. And I'm going to introduce you to a player that has come a long way to play for this club. International player Nico Justiniano with Club Atletico St. Louis here. And first things first, you're from Bolivia.
Yep.
And you're up here in St. Louis. What brought you up here?
I got here to St. Louis like 2 years ago to play for St. Louis Community College. So I'm still an international student. I transferred last fall to Lindsey Wilson College in Kentucky, in Columbia.
Okay.
And yeah, I got here to play for Garza with St. Louis Community College.
Interesting. So growing up in Bolivia, like who were your influences in the game of soccer?
I mean, my family's always been a soccer fan. My brother is he came here to the USA to study and play soccer as well. So yeah, like it was my family. I started with soccer since I was 4 years old. My parents always gave me their support and everything. They always they've been with me for the whole way. So yeah, that's why I'm playing soccer here.
Describe yourself as a player. What position do you play, and is there anyone you like model yourself after?
I play as a center back. I'm a left center back. I'm left-footed. I would say that my best quality is playing in the air. I'm really good in the air. I also like having the ball. I think I have a quality as a center back. So yeah, I like teams that like to build up and get the ball with patience, and that's how I would say about my game. Yeah.
Who's your favorite player?
Like my favorite player is Messi.
Okay.
Yeah, he's my favorite player. But like as a center back, I don't know. Like it would be maybe Maldini, or I really like Rudiger. There's a lot of center backs that I really look up to.
Respect for even knowing who Maldini is, you know, at your age. That is very impressive. But where are you hoping your career takes you? Like, do you hope to go professional down the road? Or
I would love to. I would love to. I still have 1 more year to play in college level. So after that, I'll see. Hopefully, I'll get an opportunity. I'll get something. But yeah, that's the dream for sure.
All right. Well, best of luck out there today.
Thank you very much.
Yep. So this is a genuine soccer field. This is not a high school football field. Yes, you do see the different colors there, but the answer to today's question of what line will players follow is the historic white. So shouldn't have any embarrassing gaffes like we did the last 2 games. All right, so that was Club Atletico, and we're going to introduce you now to St. Louis Stars, who were right there with Club Atletico in the standings last year, although a bit of a different Stars club this year, as we'll learn from their head coach, Dan McLaughlin. Fresh game, fresh season for you. How are you feeling going into it?
You know, we'll see. We've had a couple trainings that are good sessions. We've had a couple friendlies where we're trying to figure things out. I think we've kind of brought what we think is our best group out here tonight. You know, it's always, when you got a bunch of college kids that all come from different systems, it's fun in some respects because you get to coach kids you wanted to coach at the time they were 8 years old, but at the same time you don't want to mold them too much. Yeah. Just want to get them touches on the ball, but there's a competitive nature to it where you still want to play well and play the right way. So.
And St. Louis Stars, very competitive in this division. Last year you were right there with Club Atletico, you know, solid mid-table club. I understand, though, you've had a bit of turnover going into the season. Is that correct?
We had a handful of kids that kind of aged out, if you would, like they were done. They didn't want to play anymore. We had a few that just moved on to other places, and then we just have some new kids. So we got a good nucleus back of what we had last year. But we have a good group of kids. We have a handful of kids from Webster that came over that are solid athletes, good soccer players. Yeah. So it was nice. I mean, that's helped with the youth connection. Our coaching, you know, through still in the youth ranks. Some of those guys that have coached there now are up, you know, in the college ranks. They're looking for teams for their kids. So I think we have a good mix of kids. We'll see how it works out on the field.
Absolutely. And your St. Louis Stars, another development program like St. Louis Development Academy, who's been on this channel before, and their head coach has been with them, with his players over the years. Do you have any personal connections with this roster behind you?
Yeah, so there are probably 4 kids on here that have played with us since the time they were probably, you know, 10, 11, 12 years old. My son's on the roster. His college roommate's on the roster, a kid that I coached his last 2 years where we went to nationals with them when we were over at Lou Fuse. There's a handful of other kids. So it is nice. It's fun to see that. Yeah. And then there's the connection of just other kids that you've played against and coached against for years in youth soccer. So it's good. It's fun.
Well, and you've already faced a little bit of adversity this year because this is not your home field. Creve Coeur Soccer Park normally is, but, you know, got damaged by the tornadoes. So how'd you end up out here in Cottleville?
So for one, I live right down the street, which is great.
Bingo.
But we had an agreement with them through St. Louis Stars. So Brad and Andy Cole, like, they were good to us. They were able to work with us and get some fields. We had a little bit, you know, early in the season we were training at 9 o'clock at night, which made it tough. We'll get to go to 6 o'clock as we come here. So it makes it tough with guys working in the morning and stuff like that. But we'll see. It's nice. It's a good facility. You know, it's close to home.
And is this going to be home for the entire Midwest Premier League season, you think? Or
So I was just told today that Creve Coeur will have lights for our last 2 games.
Oh, nice.
So we'll probably try to move back out there because it has the scoreboard. It's a little bit more, fan friendly.
Yeah.
If you would. So we'd like to go back out there. If we can get out there sooner, we would. But I think until those lights go up, we're kind of stuck here.
Alrighty, well, best of luck to you.
Thank you.
All right, appreciate it.
Thanks, Tom.
Big thanks to Dan McLaughlin for the chat, and also good to hear that they'll be back at Creve Coeur Soccer Park before the season is out. That's very encouraging for them. One thing he did ask me, though, or one of the members of the coaching staff did ask me, though, just like Ricardo, is do we know any food trucks? If you are a food truck owner that is watching this video and you're able to help out St. Louis Stars or Club Atletico, drop a comment below or send me an email. It's in my descriptions, and I will get you connected to these guys because they're really eager to have a good fan experience, and that starts with concessions. And so they just need some help, getting a food truck out to these games. So someone help these guys out. But now let's introduce you to one of the stars of St. Louis Stars. They're starting right back. Jackson Riege here, and Jackson, brand new season. How you feeling going into it?
Feeling good. We're a brand new team, not a lot of expectations, but we're hoping to come out here and get a few wins.
What type of right back are you? Do you consider yourself more of a defensive player, offensive player?
Offensive, for sure. I like to make the runs up top.
So you're like a Tomas Totland, basically.
Pretty much, yeah.
Pretty much. Who's your favorite player?
I'm gonna go Sergio Ramos.
Sergio Ramos. Okay,
Yep.
So another defender.
Yep.
Another defender. What about what gravitates you toward him?
He's crazy. I love it. I love it.
Isn't he playing in Mexico now?
I have no idea.
I forgot. I want to say he went to Monterrey or something like that. And he's like on some sort of crazy contract with them,
Yeah,
but
could be.
yeah, it could be.
Sure.
Definitely a guy that loves the game.
Yep.
So, who influences you in soccer?
My dad, for sure.
Yeah?
He told me everything I needed to know, for sure.
Was your dad a former player?
Yep.
Or?
Yeah, he played college. Nothing past that, but played Division II college soccer.
Gotcha. So it's really a family thing for
Yep, 100%.
you. Absolutely. So so where do you go to college right now?
Columbia College.
You're going to Columbia College?
Yep.
Okay, but are you from the St. Louis area
Yep,
originally,
I'm
or
from 5 minutes that way.
5 minutes?
Right around here. Yep.
Very nice.
Right around here.
So staying close to home, and
Yep.
now you're in a division where you don't have to travel very far.
Yep,
So
love it.
Well, it's got to be good. It's got to be good
It's
for
really
you.
nice.
So, what are you hoping your career takes you? Do you want to go professional eventually, or no?
No professional for me. I'm gonna do something else in my life.
Okay, what are you studying in college?
Business administration.
Okay, so obviously you want to do something business related.
Yep, sales.
Oh, sales, gotcha.
Yes, sir.
Do you see yourself still playing soccer on a pickup,
absolutely.
non-professional
Yeah,
level?
like Sunday league type thing.
Yeah.
100%.
Well, I mean, we have a team in this league, Boffs, that has a bunch of 30-somethings on there.
So Bosnians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they got Bosnians, they got Welsh, they got English, they got Irish. They're a cocktail.
Yep.
They're actually playing right now at St. Louis Dev Academy.
Okay.
Well, good luck today, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Have a good one.
Yeah, you too, man. All right, so those are your 2 teams for today. And I think before this game gets going, I'm here kind of early. I saw a snow cone place on the way in, and it's time to try out the local scran. Lizzie Lou's Shaved Ice at Cottleville City Fields. Next time you're here, check them out. Assuming there's not a food truck here, which hopefully St. Louis Stars has one pretty soon. Can I have one of your Pink Star refreshers?
Oh, we actually do not have those anymore. We just opened for the season, so we don't have the new stuff for that yet.
Oh, okay.
So that is a little bit of false advertising.
Oh no! Let's just ignore that. This does not exist.
Or the energy. We don't have any. Yes, none of
Okay.
this. Only over here.
So, but you do have 100 flavors.
We do, but just because it came into the beginning of the season, we don't have some of our specialized ones.
Gotcha.
If you have any questions, I can tell you if we have it or not.
How about, you know what? I'm just going to keep it simple. Orange.
We do have that.
There we go. Let's go.
We have regular, we have large, or we have our big kahuna.
I'll do this just a regular. Again, building blocks. Both teams want to have food trucks at their places, don't quite have them yet. Snow Cone Place doesn't quite have all the flavors and the refreshments that they have quite yet. But, I'm going to come back here by the end of the season, and I'm going to give you an update on whether or not I can get a refresher from this place, because I'm sure they're banger.
Here's that for you.
Aw, thank you so much, hon.
Of course.
Have a good one. All right, here we go. Snow cone, orange, simple. Good snow cone. Oh, and the spoon changes colors. That's pretty neat. Yeah, very good snow cone. You know, it's a pretty nice night tonight, so, but if this was like, you know, 80 degrees or above, you know, humid, you're sweating, this is pretty refreshing right here, so I'm going to give this an 8.5 out of 10. Very nice job. Alrighty, got my snack from the snow cone place. Now we're going to go back and watch the beginning of this game here, Club Atletico versus St. Louis Stars. And by the way, this is the last two teams that I have to introduce in this league, so future videos may not be quite as long as this, so apologies for that if you are into brevity. Stick around for halftime because I'm going to introduce you to a local supporters group that no longer has a club of their own to cheer for, and they're here to see if maybe this can be the club for them. Well, we are not messing around here. We don't have a scoreboard. We didn't have a PA system, so no anthem or anything like that. We're just going to play some soccer here, folks. They were up 3-2 at half. Woo! That was a good attempt.
That'll make that nail. That'll give us more width here. Okay.
Ooh, side netting, but not the right side of the netting. Best seats in the house right there, honestly. You get covered seating. Probably get to play some music out of there. It's a good spot. And Atletico's on the board, 1-0. Thought he was going to do the Ronaldo there for a sec. Early lead for Club Atletico, who, by the way, they are wearing these red and yellow jerseys in honor of the city of St. Louis. That is after the St. Louis city flag colors. Nice little nod to the city they play out of. Couldn't quite get the break.
Follow. No turn. Wait. Yes. Out. Step out. Gotta be on. Yes.
Ooh. Didn't get all of that one. And our first card of the game to match the color of half their jersey. Let there be light at a non-league soccer game. Imagine that. Oh, nice shot there. 2-0 Atletico. Nice shot just outside of the box, and I think I was just late getting it like a professional vlogger that I am. I think one of those refs might have a yellow card for me on that one. Oh, good moves. Yeah, you're gonna want to wipe that one down. Well, besides being in my face just right then and there, all the action has been on that side of the field, so I think that's where I'm going to go. Have a good game, Lino. Do 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 do. Star Wars breaks out at a non-league soccer game. Film at 11. And no, that's not some sort of like Adobe Premiere sweetening trick there. The sun is like that because we have Canadian wildfires currently in the sky today, and they even have air quality warnings today, but I'm still here.
Jump off. Right, Tony. Shake off, Tony. Keep it. Over me.
Ooh! A near Galazzo just got a little bit under it. Oh, good save. Held his ground. Linesman kind enough to let me know there's 6 minutes left in the half, and naturally, the moment I come down to the side of the field where the goals are happening, there's no goals happening. Although that one went over the goal, so close enough. Oh, and dealt with. Oh, play on, shot! Another high one. PK. This might be last kick of the half here, but Stars getting a chance at a PK and a chance to have the Atletico lead. Big moment here for them. Fake the keeper out. Simple PK, easy as you like, halves the lead 2-1, and you got to think Stars coach Dan McLaughlin's halftime speech just got a little easier. That was like the third to last kick, too, by the way. Last game, I introduced you to ATAR head coach Tim Mosby, and I referred to him as an orphan because me and him both were employed by St. Charles FC, a club that no longer exists, at least for 2025 anyway. And now I am here with the orphaned supporters group of St. Charles FC, Christine over here, and then Joe right over here. Members of the Mudpuppy Ultras, as you can see there on the hats. So how has life been for you without having a club of your own?
It's been a little tough, but that's okay. You know, there's a lot of non-league soccer out there. There's a lot of soccer. So it's given us a chance to kind of relax, take a breath. You know, we were going to every single match, and we go to a lot of away games. So it gave us some time and some opportunity to kind of look around and see some other clubs, and this is what we're doing here. We're checking out other places around. There's a ton of soccer in St. Louis, a ton of non-league soccer. So it gives us an opportunity to look around, see what else is out there, see what other kind of players, other facilities. So it's been good. Hopefully at some point St. Charles FC comes back, and we'll be ready. But in the meantime, we're just enjoying it. It's a great region to be in for soccer.
Well, you had a very active role with St. Charles FC in that, like Christine, you were a photographer for them, and then Joe, you were there taking stats for them as well. And like, what inspired you to step up in that way for St. Charles FC?
Well, we got involved with supporters group stuff and just being involved with this level of soccer because it's more than anything a way that you can actually feel engaged with your community, feel like you're supporting the community, feel like you're supporting a club. And you know, it's really easy as a supporter for any kind of club to say, what can you give me? What are you going to give me? But I think more of a mature response and something you really get to do and be more involved with the club at this level is say, what can I do to help? You know, how can I help this? How can I support this? How can I be a part of it more so? And so that's really where that kind of came from, is like, well, you know, I don't see stats anywhere. I want to see stats. I don't see the pictures and the content and the stuff that tells the story of these players. I could do that. You know, I could get involved, and it was extremely rewarding for us. You know, we got to really understand the player's journey, their story, and you get to support them in that. And, you know, it's, yes, you're cheering them on the field. They're fighting for you with their name of your town on their chest. But at the end of the day, like, they're going to take that and you know, they're probably going to be a data analyst, or they're going to be a nurse, or they're going to be, anything else in the community. It might not be a soccer player, but they're going to know that people in the community support them. They're going to know that, like, this community comes together and has people that really care and do that kind of stuff. So that was really what that came from, and that's what this level gives you. It gives you the opportunity to really make it what you want it to be, molded into more of a cultured thing than just something that's stamped that a big league club might give you. That you just got to take whatever they give you.
Exactly the reason why this series exists, that I'm doing, is because if not me, who else is going to do it? So it's there's always a story to be told with soccer, and so you supported St. Charles FC over the years. You traveled to away games. You did all this for St. Charles FC. Stuck with them thin and thin. They did not play at the most ideal facilities. We've definitely said a joke or two about that. But then it comes down earlier this year. We're gearing up for the season, and the USL 2 puts out their divisions. St. Charles FC is not listed, and then it comes out in short order. St. Charles FC is not back. Yep. What was going through your mind when you realized that your club was gone?
There was kind of at the end of last season. You thought, well, it could be. I mean, it's a volatile system, right? So like, teams will come, teams will go. It happens, and that's why we really want to be a supporter of the community, supporter of local soccer, regardless, because those players are now playing for FC Ambush or ATAR or all these different places that played last year, and we're going to support those guys there. We're going to support them in different spots, and so it was tough to take. It certainly changed the plans of what our summer is going to look like, but I think hopefully it's a good opportunity for that organization to figure out exactly what they want and how to be successful. Mm-hmm. If they do come back in the USL 2 format or some other format like Midwest Premier League, that'd be amazing. But if not, then hopefully they do really great things with their academy and everything else. But it was tough, obviously, because we put so much into it. But really, we were so thankful for that opportunity being around St. Charles FC, because it's what really helped mold this mentality that we have of, liking the gritty feeling of it, liking that there's not merch tents everywhere, liking that there's not, sponsorships on every single player and jersey and everything else. It's just, local kids or in adults that either play in the league or play in, locally. They've grown up here or they're playing for schools here. It's supporting everything that's around it. So
second half about to start.
All right, can't wait.
And hey, look at that! I made it back in time for the second half kickoff for once. I'm getting better at this, guys. I went over the netting. Jeez. Service is quality. That's and I think he took a boot to the face there. Ouch. No problem, bud. By the way, this isn't the only game taking place in the Gateway South tonight. Over in Ladue, it was Boffs taking on St. Louis Development Academy. Boffs had a 3-2 lead at one point, but it ends up being Development Academy winning by a score of 5-3. They go to 2-0 on the season, and it's becoming quite apparent that St. Louis Development Academy and Jim Whipke's boys are they're going to be a problem in this division. They're good. Because don't forget, Boffs are a team that is made up of a lot of older players at its core that have played at the likes of like Leeds Academy, Swansea City, Ireland, Scotland, Spain. Like, they have a lot of experience and international flavor on their roster, and Development Academy just lit them up for 5. Put some respect on St. Louis Development Academy's name. Oh, ooh, there's a bit of contact there. Not enough for a PK, though. On net, but not enough steam. Oh, what a stop by the keeper. Oh my, oh my, oh my. Oh, oh, nice shot, but good save. This game's been a really, really good back and forth game where no club has really gotten the big advantage over the other. Two very evenly matched clubs here tonight. 2-1 now late in the second half. You're starting to see Stars getting a few more opportunities on net here. In fact, they are trying to work it deep right now. Wow, good moves. Good defending and good moves by that player. Although it gets dispossessed right there, just as I'm bigging him up. And that's almost a card there. Not quite. Ooh.
What are we doing? Before he even touched him the second time.
Oh, that's a nice ball. But well defended, well defended. And that's it. Atletico holds on to win 2-1. Good game, keeper.
Thank you.
Hi. First things first, a little bit of housekeeping here. If you want to support the channel, you can do it in a couple of ways here. Number one, you can join the Zombie Ultras, just $4.99 a month. Helps me pay the internet bill, pay for all the things that keep this channel running. Or you can just join the 99-cent supporter section as well. Drop a few coins in the proverbial tin can, and I do appreciate your support there. Second way of doing it is you may have spotted me at games in this jersey, and a few of you have asked, can I buy it? Is it for sale? Well, I'm happy to announce that the 1950 U.S. Men's National Team Tribute Kit is back for sale on oliveandyork.com at $49.99, and a portion of proceeds will be donated to Generation City, a supporters group for St. Louis City SC that is dedicated to kids and their families. So consider buying one if you like the look of it, and also want to support a great cause at the same time. Now on to Club Atletico versus St. Louis Stars, and that was a good match. It was a really good match, 2-1 final. Both teams were very competitive in the game throughout. I think Club Atletico probably might feel that they could have iced the game a little bit earlier. I was told after the game that they only had 4 practices together before playing this match. So it'll be interesting to see if Club Atletico can compete for the Gateway South and maybe gel as time goes on, because they looked pretty good Friday night and they looked very competitive. It'll be interesting to see where they go from here. Another match that happened over the weekend, I mentioned Boffs versus St. Louis Dev Academy, where Dev Academy came back and won 5-3. Another match that happened on Saturday night was AFC Columbia hosting ATAR Belleville. And now keep in mind, ATAR Belleville had won just one game all of 2024 as they were playing in the MPSL. Well, they've already won their first game in the Midwest Premier League at AFC Colombia. They ended up going to Colombia and winning 3-0 on these goals that you see here. And shout out to AFC Colombia, by the way, for live streaming the match on their YouTube. So let's go ahead and take a look at the standings right now. And you'll see St. Louis Development Academy comfortably on top of the South Division, just 2 games in, but they already have a +5 goal difference, and they lead everyone with 2 wins at this point. ATAR Belleville having a +2 goal differential, putting them in second, just ahead of Club Atletico, who again only have played 1 match up to this point, along with St. Louis Stars, so still a long way to go for these clubs. Boffs with 3 points because they did beat ATAR Belleville in their first matches, you may have seen on this channel already. And AFC Colombia, that actually should be a -6 goal differential because they also lost 3-0 to St. Louis Development Academy, as you saw on this channel. Still a lot of season left to be played. On the left side, you might notice the North Division. That is the Iowa and Omaha, Nebraska division. And we already have a dropout because Warrior FC has dropped out of the league. That is actually the second club in the North Division to drop out this year after CB Captains dropped out preseason. Was always wondering how Warrior FC would work out in this league because they play in a very remote part of Iowa and they play in a town of about 500 people. So I guess it was just a little bit too lofty for them, unfortunately. But if you're looking to support the Midwest Premier League and find your local club, well, there's a few games coming up this week. Let's go ahead and pull up that schedule right here as AFC Columbia will host St. Louis Development Academy at 7 p.m. on Wednesday, June the 4th. It's an opportunity for Columbia to get off the schneid, but they have a tall task ahead with St. Louis Development Academy. Jim Whipke's boys really looking strong to start the season. Friday, June the 6th, Club Atletico St. Louis will have their first home match of the year when they host St. Louis Development Academy. Can they catch Dev Academy a little tired after having only played 2 days prior? We'll see about that. And then Saturday, June the 7th, a couple of local matches as Boffs St. Louis will have their first home match of the year as they will host AFC Columbia. And then also ATAR Belleville will have their second home match of the year at 7 when they host St. Louis Stars. Unfortunately, I will not be covering any of these matches because I'm going out of town this weekend. It is the St. Louligans annual pilgrimage to Forward Madison, and they will be hosting Union Omaha this weekend. I'll have a vlog from that game, but unfortunately, I will not be able to cover any of these games this coming weekend. I will have a USL 2 match this coming week as I will be traveling to Peoria City when they host Springfield FC in an Illinois derby at that level. Looking forward to showing you Peoria City as they have a very good support in there and a good supporters group in the 309. But the next Midwest Premier League game that I am covering will be on Friday, June 13th when AFC Columbia hosts Club Atletico St. Louis at 7:30. I'm going to head out to Columbia and check them out for you. Also that night, St. Louis Stars will host Boffs, and St. Louis Development Academy will host ATAR Belleville. So the Gateway South getting all their action in on Friday, June the 13th. And then AFC Columbia actually does bounce back on Sunday, June 15th when they host Boffs. This is your soccer zombie, Tom Franklin, and if you enjoyed this video, you know what to do right down here. And again, look for my Peoria City video coming up later on in the week. In the meantime, if you haven't caught up yet with This Is Non-League Soccer in America, there's a whole playlist right up here for you. There's now 3 videos on there, so you can check those out at your leisure. It's a good time. It's non-league, but it's a good league.